The man known as Shay Shay, aka Shannon Sharpe, is cooked. Damn it, the man is double dipped, deep fried. He is done. It's over for him. This is it. Now, I'm not saying he's never going to have a career again, but it's never going to be the same for him. I'm telling y'all right now, unless he goes on a Jonathan Majors sort of, press run, which includes finding a black woman that he can then make his wife, this dude is done. Now, the reason I say this is not because I believe he's guilty. I want to see more evidence. I want to see more proof. I want to see this thing play out, right? I'm not going to jump to that conclusion, but the conversation has taken on a different sort of tone. It's not just this thing of, the Me Too and men in power taking advantage of these women, etc. But now it is a story of, it is a 19-year-old chick, and it is some would say white adjacent, right? That's what they like to say on the left, like white adjacent. They're making new terms every day. So it is a chick who essentially looks like a white woman, right? Got a very Hispanic name. So 19 years old, they are now saying that she is an OF quote unquote model, AKA a digital 304, a digital streetwalker. And she's white. So you would think to yourself, oh, what's the problem with that? She's 19. Okay, well, Shannon Sharpe is about 60 years old and she's 19. Now, there's a deep hypocrisy that's been taking place. But before we get into that, I want to get into a few words that were expressed to Shannon Sharpe, a.k.a. Unc, a.k.a. Shay Shay, by one of his own peers about dealing with these kids. So let's get into that.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the fourth round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you.
Okay, yeah. So basically what she is expressing, if I am to translate some of this lingo, is, dear Shannon Sharpe, my dear brother, I would advise you to begin to look for a more serious relationship with an individual who may be closer to your own life experiential numeric expression, i.e. age, as opposed to continuing to indulge yourself in the, barely legal. Now, because I just did a video on the entire Tracy Ellis Ross situation, Diana Ross's daughter, who came out and said that she dates almost exclusively young men because, quote unquote, men her age are controlling, i.e. she wants people she can control, right? That was kind of the summary of it. But basically, here's the thing. I'm not going to play the double standards. Either it's okay for both or it's not okay for both. Like we're not going to do that right now. Right. And that's been a part of the conversation, is the age thing. But the one that's really taken a life of its own is about race. And that's why I felt I wanted to kind of take this on from a different angle. No Diddy. So you have a conversation majoritively from black women saying, well, that's what you get. That's what you get for messing with these white women. And this isn't a message that I am, too far removed from. My best friend, my brother, my homeboy, Jay, may he rest in paradise. His grandma was an old Mississippi raised woman, old school Mississippi, did not play. And anytime she would see any of the boys involved with a white girl, she would say, this gonna get y'all in some mess. She would say, y'all keep messing with these white girls, you gonna end up in. Now look, in her time, this may have actually been a reality, or at least, stories that she heard from her own circumference. So she couldn't really make that separation. And so I heard that messaging kind of coming up as a youngster, right? But I never internalized it because I had the sort of understanding at that time that, first of all, we're being racialized, like everything is just being split up to say these races do this and these don't. Secondly, I'd already heard enough stories of black women accusing black men of different things, or, non-black men. So to say that this was just white women, like, yes, if you look historically to, let's say, the quote unquote proverbial wife of the slave master, right? It's like go back to biblical times, Joseph, right? Potiphar's wife, who's wanting to be with him, wanting to sleep with him. He has too much integrity to do so. So then she accuses him of doing the unthinkable to her. So these allegations, this has existed since the beginning of time, right? Used as a means of manipulation, used as a weapon. So don't get that twisted. And the Me Too movement acted as almost a fuel to this, because now it was believe all women. That was a statement that was being used and it still kind of stood on, believe all women. So before there's a case, it's just believe all women. There have been men and even those of high notoriety who have gone through their court cases, have come out actually innocent, but nobody hears about that because it's about the court of public opinion. And now they're done. Their careers are never going to be the same unless they have like a Dave Chappelle type of skin. I'm not saying he was involved in that type of stuff. I don't know, but it's like you become uncancelable. You become like a Kanye, right? He's canceled in my world. He's unacknowledged as a serious human being, but you almost have to be this person who says, F it, I don't give a damn. But that's not the case with Shay Shay. That's not the case. Oh, Shay Shay. No. He was your friendly uncle, etc. And now he's coming out and they're saying basically, he's a Diddy bopper. They saying he's a younger Cosby over here. They got the Cosby face on him in the damn. See right there. First thing that pops up, Cosby face. I didn't even scroll through it. Cosby face. They got the Cosby face. Sugar pops and pudding pops. Now, again, I wanted to get into the totality of the conversation of, now it's being pointed towards race. And I do believe that's also a byproduct of kind of the digital version of the racial war that we are now seeing that has come as a byproduct of propaganda. Race relations were getting significantly better. And then you all of a sudden saw a spike, come the 2000s, 2010s, because the media was riling people up, etc. I believe there was an agenda. I believe it was paid for, funded by the likes of a Soros, etc. But call me a conspiracy theorist. I do believe there were vested interests to continue to push that narrative because they would profit and benefit off of that, right? So when I saw this story basically come up, I almost immediately would smell it out. If this is, as some say, his preference, which is lighter skin or even, I guess, white women, right? This is going to become an issue of race. So to me, I would say, would it have been okay if it was a 19-year-old black woman, dark-skinned, chocolate-skinned woman? Would that been okay? If she was a 19-year-old OnlyFans black woman, would there be more support behind him? Because when it was the Jonathan Majors, it was the same thing. See, that's what you get for your preference. And then there's a pretend as if it's not actually, it's a racist thing per se. Like, why is it that as black men or even black women in some cases, why is it that you have to defend the people that you are the most attracted to, if that's what it really is? Or why is it that you have to defend who you're with? You know what I mean? Like, why is that? Even it's funny, like now people are scouring through all types of stuff to find out more and more about my life the creepiest way. Some of y'all are just straight up creeps. Y'all are just weird. You have no life. But, somebody went and found my girl and where is she? But as soon as they see her, the first thing they think is, oh, see, that's why he talks the way he does, because he's with I'm with a what? Well, she's white adjacent. I mean, yeah, she has a European mother, yes, and she has an African father. And I have an African mother, African father. And what's that got to do with my relationship? Some people be so involved in so involved in everybody else's relationship. It's nothing more than a sign of your own insecurity. Do you not realize that? When you're always looking at who somebody's with, and then you celebrate the moment you see a black face with another black face. Oh, thank God, we're wanted. Why do you care who that man or that woman wants? Why does that matter? I'm sorry. Y'all thought it was finna get into the, but Mr. Shannon Sharpe, but no. Shannon Sharpe might be dead ass wrong. And I'm going to play on our way out, I'm going to play his little statement, his little rebuttal of what really happened and his stance, because he has already given his message, right? I'm going to get into that. But I wanted to get in the conversation, the real conversation of there's a problem with double standards here. When there's a man with a younger woman, it is seen as reprehensible. Is that the word I'm looking for? Don't use the word if you don't know it, Mr. Aquarius. Okay, fantastic. It is sick. It's sick when a man is with a young, oh my goodness, she's 20 years. Okay, so what about Madonna with her little 20-some-year-old and her 7-year-old self? You know what I mean? What about the Tracy, blah, 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 Ellis? What about the multitude of women with much younger men? Why is that okay and she's celebrated? In the same way I say, why is it okay when a black woman finally finds her a white man or whatever it is? Yes, girl, you found somebody who deserves, you found somebody who loves you and sees you and values you, but then you see a black man and all of a sudden he hates his mother. I'm so sick and tired of the double standards. I'm tired of them both ways, because I've also seen out that there are men who look at a black woman with a white man and have an issue with that. Negro, please. What are you talking about? Why do you care who this woman is with? It's like when people look at me and my relationship. Why do you care who I'm with? Why do you care who she's with? Are you dense? Do you not have enough of a life? What's going on in your reality that you got to watch somebody else? That is deeply unfortunate. I would not wish that on my worstest of enemies. I wouldn't. That level of just desperation and sadness. Brother. So that's the real conversation. People wouldn't give a damn about this if it was a black woman and it was, it would be, well, I mean, he probably did it. Well, I mean, maybe it would be just the younger conversation. Well, that's what he gets for a younger woman. So the older women have a problem with it because it's a younger woman. And then the black older women have a problem because it's a non-black. The situation should be about whether or not he violated this woman in a way that she says, the way that she claims. Did she lie on this man or not? It's always, did she lie on this black man? Guess what? Everybody was getting lied on when the Me Too movement came. There was a lot of truth in there, but there was a lot of lies going on at the same time. And these sorts of allegations and accusations, or as Tiffany Hayner would say, or Hayard, Hyena, whatever the hell the last name is, allegations. There was a whole lot of allegations that were taking place that were false. Hell, there was a black woman who came out who accused those white teenage boys from Duke, whose lives were never the same again. Y'all remember that story? Maybe you're a little too young. I don't know, but it was 15 years back, 19 years back. She lied on them boys, and she only came out last year, the year of our Lord 2024. She came out last year and said, oh, oops, I lied. I'm sorry. The same woman who is now in prison because she unalived her own boyfriend. And that's who people believe. That's who people rally behind. This poor black woman who was violated by these white men. Turns out that she lied on them boys. And where is the uproar about that? Who's giving light to that? Who's talking about that story? Where's the news cycle? The reason why this is so inflammatory is because it's about the covert, the jealousy that lays there. You don't have to let go of the insecurities. You don't need everybody to be a representation of you. You don't need everybody. Every damn movie that comes out doesn't have to have your damn face in it for you to see the movie. If you don't want to see the movie, to hell with it. When we wanted to have shows that represented us, guess what we did in the 90s? We made Martin. We made In Living Color. We made Living Single. What else do we have? We made Static Shock if we wanted some damn animation. We said, okay, fine, then create something of your own. We had D.L. Hughley had one. Steve Harvey had one. Cedric the Entertainer had a damn show. Jamie Foxx had his own show. Come on. But yet we want to say, oh, look, they're not letting the black man. No, I'm sick and tired of it. People are going to be with whoever it is that they feel the deepest connection with. And you look at him, it's like, why does he not date no black woman? First of all, I don't know who he dates. I think he's just a freak. I think Unc is a freak. And he's going to get to whatever he's going to get to. And if it's white woman, then damn it, that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm sick and tired of that conversation. If Unc is a creep, and I don't stand behind that. I'm not with being 60 years old and still running around like you 20, right? I think it's sad. I don't think it's a crime. I think it's sad. I think it's depressing when you see a woman or a man, who still don't got it figure it out necessarily. When I see a Tracy Ellis Ross talking about, well, I'm a unicorn, I'm a special unicorn, that's why I never had kids. But then she talk about she's grieving the fact that she never had kids. She's, these older men, blah, blah, blah. No, sis, you wish you had that. You desire to have that. There's some people, don't be in a relationship if you can't be in one. You can't be faithful. You can't be honest. You can't be trustworthy. You can't have dignity and integrity. Don't be in a relationship. But what he did there, having the relationship, is not the crime. Now, did he do other things and violate? That we're going to find out as it unravels. But the conversation I immediately saw off the bat, was this thing about, well, that's what you get for your preference. Your preference. So anytime a black woman accuses a black man of something or does him dirty, y'all don't want to talk about preference. Y'all don't want to talk about, wait, this black woman did him dirty. Oh, black women. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. And I'm tired of it. On both sides. The reason I'm bringing it up in this context is because it's this context. I tell men, brothers all the time, look, you got to stop blaming women for the plights and the problems of your life. You got to get it together. Don't worry about what she's got going on. She's not your wife, not your woman. Don't worry about what she's got going on. That's what this is about. Let's be real. That's what this turned into. Why is he with that younger woman? Why do you care? Well, is she old enough to make her own decisions? Then why do you care? Okay, if you're going to care, fantastic. Let's care. Let's all care then. Let's care. Let's all care. It's creepy, right? So it's creepy when Tracy's doing it. Why is it no longer creepy with her? Why is that? Oh, Drea? Yeah, her man's is the same age as her baby daddy's the same age as her son, 22 years old. Why is it not creepy right there? No, it's creepy there too, right? So let's make it both creepy. Let's make it both problematic. So let's make that problematic. And then as far as the race and things of that nature goes, admit, you can keep your little things, but just admit that it is jealousy. It is insecurity. Needing to see yourself in everybody is a sign of narcissism. Don't you know? That's a sign of narcissism. I need to see myself represented in every woman he's with. I need to see myself in every, I'm about to go watch Sinner soon, right? And I already know there's so much race conversation around it, etc. Whatever, right? I'm going to watch it. Hopefully I can just see it for the film that it is. I like some of the work that Ryan and Michael B. Jordan do. I loved Creed. I loved the first Black Panther movie, etc. Right? Thought they were great movies. But, it's interesting how, because one of the twins, I guess, has, a black love interest. Fantastic. Beautiful. I'm pretty sure she's an incredible actress, etc. I'm going to see it for what it is. But there's like this jubilation. You know what I mean? You don't see that in any other group of people. You don't see Asian. Oh, yes. It is an Asian woman that he is with. Oh, my God. He's with a white woman. Oh, yes. We're represented as white. Well, yes. No, you don't see that anywhere else. Because there's so much insecurity that has been pumped into our people. We need to let that go. Into black folk. Because I can't necessarily just say my people. I don't know if you're my people or not unless we stand on the same value system, right? Technically speaking. But let's say those who look like me. Those who have some of them, maybe the same heritage as me, etc. Why is it that it matters so much? Oh, but it's a black woman. He got a black woman on his arm. So? And to the white folks who have the same mentality, I say, so? What the hell is your problem? Person's going to love who loves them? Is that an issue? Man, to hell with that. You didn't want him before. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Y'all didn't want Shay Shay when he was looking crazy. Y'all wanted maybe when he was in the NFL, when he was getting to the bag or whatever, but maybe he was one of them, like Jamie Foxx. They didn't want Jamie. Y'all seen a young Jamie Foxx? He was not wanted by the women who are now saying, how dare you have this preference? It's foolishness. I've never once in my life said, I will not date a black woman. I've never said I'll not date anybody of any race. I just happen to be in a relationship with the ones who showed me the greatest level of appreciation, respect, love, attention, care, honesty, these types of things, integrity. Those who display those, wonderful, lovely, spectacular. What race are you again? Don't care. Let's dead it, folks. Let's dead it. Let's focus on the real case, which, that being said, and I will eventually do a follow-up on this with the case itself, but I just had to get this off my damn chest.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million.
Oh, by the way, he just signed a $100 million contract. So it's real convenient that they came for the 50. After Uncle Sam's done with you, you might pay up to 50% of that. So they're like, he's going to have 50 mil left. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there. Or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. But I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3, 6, 5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.